All right, let's fucking go. How's everybody doing? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. We've got Peter Jan. That's a nice name, bro. Twister, Tommy, Imran, Benny with the Bing Tang. Yo, what's up, brother? Marish, what's up, man? Coming around. I mean, it's hot in here, bro. Like it's fucking 32 degrees. Damn. Like I'm struggling here. What's up, Daytona? League of Shorts. Good afternoon. What's up, Jano? Frozen. Let's fucking go, man. All right. Got a nice group of people with us today. First time catching you live. All right, that's good, man. Welcome to the live sesh. Where you from? I'm Dutch, from Amsterdam. So I'm sweating my balls off here. Absolutely sweating. Maybe because I'm in the room. You got that right. Yo, what's up, Austin? 40 degrees. Damn, that's sick. Yo, Leon, what's up, man? Another week of practicing like last time, starting to pursue a regular career again. I mean, makes two of us, man. Makes two of us. Like it's been challenging here. Like the only clean setup was down here at the previous quarter value high, right? For those of you who were watching the previous stream, like this was the long setup right there. Beauty. But let's see if we can get something going again this stream. Yo, Mowgli, it's been a while, man. Good to see you. What's up, man? I'm doing good. Doing good. Brandon says make a video about TPO and VWAP, please. I mean, if you ask nicely, maybe I will. But my AC, I can't. I'm poor, bro. Haven't you seen? Like Bitcoin, I'm invested in Ethereum. I'm poor. I don't have money for an AC. Goedenavond. What's up, Mahmood? Hope you well, man. Woon je in het Gooi, zegt hij. Natuurlijk niet, maat. Steamo, what's up, man? Mowgli, glad to hear, man. All good, man. Need to get tuning in again. All right. Form in the room, let's go. I was scared too long because I didn't touch previous one value. Yeah, I mean, it's been a tricky. I ain't got shit, bro. You don't have to think about that. I lost everything in the boating accident. League of Shorts, sweep of the high, close below 6 week. I mean, that's what we want, right? That's what we want. All right. So we've got a nice group of people here. As always, guys, if for everybody that's with us today and have been watching the previous stream, obviously this stream is sponsored by Bybit. Now we have a couple of collaboration with them where if you link up your user ID to our account within the website, you will get free access to essentially everything, right? The Discord, the indicators, whatever. So, go to primetrading.ai and you can make an account there and sign up to our affiliate link from Bybit. So with that being said, is this week going to be another week of chop? Oh, and by the way, click the like button and I see you guys. I see you guys that are not subscribed to the channel because I can see who's watching and who's not subscribed, right? And there's a bunch of you who are not subscribed, and I'm always almost at 5k subs. So do me a favor and subscribe to the channel because I need a cake, right? I'll be getting a cake if I'm going to get 5k. So good evening, Smith. Good to see you, buddy. So calendar, Forex Factory. First things first, by the way, prep. Today it is the 29th, which means that we've got one more day left before we're getting a new previous quarterly close. So make no mistake, this is going to be a very important quarterly close in terms of altcoins where we're going to be buying and selling them, Bitcoin, and then the hilariously shitty shitcoin Ethereum. We might be getting some trades on that as well. But until then, we're going to be closely looking at that quarterly value. Now, do we have anything of interest going into next week? We do have some things, but it's going to be starting off on Tuesday. So tomorrow is a good thing because I'm with the kids tomorrow, right? They've got like a free day from school. And we don't have any news-driven events here. So maybe we're getting a quiet day, which will set up for a nice Monday's range. So we can look into, maybe some deviations heading into the week where we're sweeping the high or the low and get some shorts going or longs going based on the activity that we're getting within that range. Now, let's get to the goodies, right? Because impact for news events, none. For those of you who are in the Discord, we will be going over the other news impact for news events when that day arrives. But for today, it is none. BTC recent developments, market profile. Let's open up CR charts here. I mean, quiet day with Trump, probably not, right? Probably not. But the most important takeaway here is that for those of you who are new to the streams and who are watching this live for the first time, I'm always using a 4-channel layout. Now, right here, we've got regular daily profiles. Then right here, we've got weekly profiles. Right here, we've got monthly profiles. And right here, we've got daily profiles. However, I'm using this chart for my composites. Now, for example, right here, merge, because we've got overlapping value. Let's quickly remove this here. One sec. Undo all this. Let me just show you, right? Because why am I merging these days together? Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days of value overlap where Bitcoin is basically trading within the range. Now, I've said this time and time again, when Bitcoin is chopping within the weekend, I do not tend to put too much emphasis on these composites. However, it's still good to be aware of, right? And why am I using 2 daily charts, right? Because you can clearly see that these are the exact same profiles. But if I'm going to be working with composites, so right click, merge, right click, merge, merge. So I have a 4-day composite. If I don't have a separate chart with the regular profiles on it, I'm not able to see what's happening within that composite, right? I still need to see these single profiles on their own. That is why I'm using a 2-channel layout for composites and daily profiles. But the key takeaway here is that Bitcoin has a shitty low right there. We try to break away from value. Point of control shifted towards the highs. This should have held a support. We're now trading below, which is an indication of what? Trap traders, right? So we're essentially going to be pushing this towards the lows here as long as we're trading below that value area high from the previous 4 days. Another thing that's going to be really important is this. Right click, letters in their own column. Now, from previous week within the stream, we have covered that we have a 5-week composite. Now, what do we have here? We've got another weekly profile with a value area in the middle of this 5-week composite. So what are we going to be doing? We're going to be taking this profile and we're going to be slamming it into that 5-week. So right click, merge with previous profile like that. And we're going to be adjusting the value area slightly, right? So I'm basically already doing this because it's on a Sunday, right? Because I expect this to be a nothing burger and we remain here within this profile, which will mean that we have a new 6-week composite. From tomorrow, if we open up within value, what is going to be our bias? Our bias is going to be neutral. However, if we start to trade towards value area high, we're going to be having a slightly bearish bias here, right? Because as long as we trade below the value area high, we need to be expecting a rotational environment between value area high, value area low. Now, conversely, if we open up in a value and we auction towards the value area low, we're going to be looking for longs. Because in my opinion, this value area low around 103-ish, which is confluent with a bunch of VWAPs as well, which I will show you guys later on. Like, that's going to be the make it or break it for me for BTC. Like, I do not want to see acceptance below. So we are rotational within a 6-week value area high bearish line in the sand, value area low bullish line in the sand. Simple as that. The monthly is going to be forming a 2-month composite. If we form like this, right? Maybe I'll get a stream in on a quarterly close if there's enough interest. But you know, when we do get that monthly close, like this is going to be an area of interest to me for sure. So whole lot of talking. Let's write it down before we forget what we've just said. What's up, TJ? Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you with the stream. So in terms of TPO, we have formed a, goddamn, it's hot in here. We formed a 4-day composite value area. And we failed to accept above short-term downside towards poor lows intraday. Now, we also have a naked point of control at 109 to 725. Let me just show you guys in, for the daily profiles. We've got a naked point of control up here and a naked point of control down here. We also have a single print there, right? So I think heading into next week, leaning slightly bearish here, considering this recent development. If we were to sweep all of this and then reclaim 105s, I think that should be the low for upside, right? We don't want to see acceptance below, but we'll go over that in a bit. Let's go back to the prep. So we have a naked point control 109,725, and we've got one at, what did I say? 105,050. Upcoming 6-week value. Value high, bearish line in the sand, value low. Bullish line in the sand. And that's about it for TPO, right? We don't have anything of interest other than the naked point controls, the 4-day composite, and the upcoming 6-week. I think this 6-week composite, other than a quarterly value that I will show you guys in a bit, those two are going to be the most important price points heading into July, I think, because those will indicate whether or not we're getting a bull market or we're just stuck here for a longer period of time. Dino is asking, what question are we trying to answer with TPO? Is it where value is and how the price behave there? Well, I think the question that we are trying to answer is, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job of it, right? For example, in this case, what's the market trying to do? The market is trying to break away from value, right? We try to break away from the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days of value. Now ask yourself, is it doing a good job? Yes or no? If the answer is no, should we be looking for shorts then, right? And then if the answer is yes, where is the area of interest, which is usually value area high? Where are you wrong on a clean break back above that high, right? So that's how I, approach market in terms of TPO. Like, what's it trying to do, and is it doing a good job? Like, if it's breaking lower, if there's going to be a large amount of effort being put into a low, right? Similar to the order block video that I posted 2 days ago or something, right? Where we form an initial low, get a large amount of increase in participation below a low. If there's no follow through, the market tries to do something, but it's doing a shitty job, right? And then we're going to be taking the opposite trade, the opposite side of that trade to pair it with something else. I'll be answering the other questions in a bit. Let's first finish the prep. So let's go back towards TPO. Everybody clear on TPO so far? Are we good? Let me know in the chat so we can continue with VWAP. Right here, TPO done. Take a look at my VWAP charts. All right, great. Again, with the single parts and more elaborate. The second part is more like a delta profile that I'm using within CR chart. All right, we good. Let's get a sip of my drink here. One sec. All right. Now for the good stuff. VWAP. For those of you who are new, yearly VWAP with its standard deviation 1, -1. Quarterly VWAP, monthly VWAP, weekly VWAP. We're going to be starting off with the yearly VWAP. Now I'm using CR chart because just as quickly, because if I'm merging composites here, look, if I'm merging these profiles, the distance between those profiles remain the same. And on TradingView, basically all other platforms, they have implemented as such that under this grid, there's a candlestick grid. So whenever you're going to be merging profiles, you're getting like an insane gap between the composite and the next profile, which then causes issues for me when I'm doing a weekly composite, right? If I were to undo this, undo right modes merge, right here, this is a 5-week composite. Within TradingView, ExoCharts, or any other platform, the distance between this profile and the next will be such a large gap that I wouldn't even be able to see this profile, right? Yes, on ExoCharts as well. But I had a chat with, I just know that they're working on it. So it's just, CR chart is the only platform that allows me to do what I want and what I need within TPO. So that's it. That's why I'm using CR chart. If you're asking me like, is CR chart user friendly? Let me just show you. This is a TPO setup, yeah, for CR chart. Now compare this with the TPO setup, for example, with Market Monkey Terminal or ExoCharts, right? Or TradingView. That's basically 3 clicks. So this is a different ball game, but at least it shows me what I need to see. Yeah, but I don't really like EDS, man. I think it's dog shit, to be honest. And I don't mind paying for stuff when it's good. Okay, so let's move forward. The yearly. I think the most important takeaway here on the yearly is, let me get my mic in. I was almost gagging my mic. Is that the yearly try to accept back within developing year value. However, again, this goes to whoever asked the question, I can't recall, or Dino, like, what was the market trying to do here? Oh, it tried to break within developing year value, right? And then it accepted back above. So to me, this is an indication that the market tried to accept back within value, failed to do so, which means we're now bullish against this level, right? So as long as we're trading above, I'm expecting it to move higher, but this will need to hold a support. So the yearly is actually looking good. Now for the fun part, let me get this into a bigger screen. So the quarterly value is one of the most important time frames in my opinion when using TPO or VWAP or whatever, right? I just love how it trades around crypto or, you know, equities as well. It's just super clean. As an example, previous quarterly value low was resistance. We accept it back within value. We trade towards the point of control, acceptance above point of control. We pair it with a bullish order block. Everything is for buying down here, right? And we're auctioning towards the highs. Simple as that. Acceptance above, retest, boom, new highs, right? So within 1 or 2 days, I forgot how many days we have within this month, but within a couple of days, we will have new quarterly value. Now, 2 very important developments here. 1, new previous quarterly value will look like this. Value area high, point of control, value area low. So in other words, if Bitcoin trades here, it's essentially saying that we are rotational between 107K and 96K. So if we cannot reclaim this as support, we're going to be auctioning all the way down towards 96. If we lose 96, we're going to be auctioning all the way towards 86. As bearish as it may sound, this is just going to be exactly the same as how we broke above here and everybody was bearish, while in fact this was the first sign that we were definitely getting a shift in trend, right? From a consolidation towards up right there. However, what a lot of people don't do or don't realize is that similar to TPO profiles, VWAPs can be merged as well. So if we take this indicator, for example, we have merged the previous 2 months together or the previous 2 quarters together. Why? Why did I just merge these 2 quarters? Because this quarterly developing value has a 50% or more overlap with the previous quarterly value, okay? So we're adding these 2 quarters together. Now, get this out of the way. Let's take a look. So to me, this means, considering this interaction here, if we are getting a pullback, like going into the next quarter, I don't know how deep the pullback is going to be, right? Maybe we're just getting a pullback into this level and then we're going to go up. I don't know. I'll have a plan for this as well. But I do know from a longer term time frame, like higher time frame, this area right here is my bullish line in the sand. If we're getting a flush into this level, I think it's an opportunity. Not to start panicking, but I'll be looking to buy this for a potential move higher into all-time high. Because I think from a contextual standpoint, 103-ish is going to be the game changer, right? Because 103, remember, it's the 6-week value area low as well. So we've got a 6-week value area low. We've got a previous month VWAP. We've got a quarterly composite value area high here. So any pullback into this region is considered to be a buying opportunity. Now, that being said, right, we still need to account for the upcoming previous quarterly close. So it's going to be, you know, if we're trading below here, we're going to be pinched between resistance and a quarterly composite support. So I'll be just trading this range until either side breaks, okay? I'll show you guys that in a bit. Moving towards the monthly. Now, why am I not doing the monthly below this section? Because I just love to trigger people, right? I've always been doing it like this. We start 1, 2, down, left. So that's how I do it, and I won't change it, right? So the monthly, look how clean this trades. Resistance, support, like if you're, you're not into day trading whatsoever, quarterly, monthly values are super easy to trade. We're consolidating below the previous month value high, which is also confluent with a 6-week value high. Do I think that this is a proper high? No, I don't think so. I think we might be revisiting this later on to either put in a real high or just acceptance above. And at that point, we can target the highs, like maybe these highs and potentially the all-time high again. Yeah, it's the yearly VWAP as well. Like the yearly developing value area high. But in this case, if it forms within a day, then if it takes like a week or two to retest it, the developing year value high will extend throughout time. Like it will continue to develop. However, this one is static at that point. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless. So the monthly, nothing we need to add there. We're just rotational within previous month value and that's it. So longer term VWAPs, this is going to be an important one. One, we failed to break back within developing year value. Trying to accept above developing quarter value high. Quarterly composite forming in one day. 2 quarter value area high confluent with 6-week value area low. 103-ish. Going to be bullish line in the sand. Rotational within previous month value. And then rotational within developing week value. Which is going to be, right, developing week value. This is going to be the upcoming previous week value, right? VWAP right there. And then we've got the value area low, again, around 103-ish. So again, confluent with the 6-week value area low, quarterly composite, etc., etc. So, just all in all, a huge level. Rotation in developing week value. I can't type anymore. Value. Like that. Up. Coming previous week val. Confluent with 6-week val. All right. Now, this takes me towards rolling VWAP. Do we have anything to glean from that? Let's open up the charts here. Rolling VWAP. Let's get rid of the lines. H12. Like, what do we have here? Let's get rid of the 7-day real quick. 7-day, be gone. All right. So, 30-day. Let me just show you 30-day, by the way, on its own. In my opinion, if Bitcoin would have been bearish, this should have held as resistance. Similar to how we traded through it here, then retested it. And from that point on, the 30-day rolling VWAP was resistance all the way until we finally spent time and space back above here, which lined up with that previous quarterly value low down here, right? This was the shift in trend from a downtrend towards an uptrend. Doesn't get much cleaner than this. So, by going by this logic, if Bitcoin is genuinely bullish, I need to see this hold of support. So the thing here is, I would love to be a buyer around here. And I'm pretty sure everybody is waiting for that. But because we've got that 6-week value area low somewhere here, right? 6-week value area low, the quarterly composite, yada, yada, yada. But from a trending perspective, we're now spending a good amount of time and space above the 30-day rolling VWAP. So I don't know if we're going to go all the way down here. And if we do, I will need to see an H12 close above this low, like ASAP. Because if not, it's an indication to me that this is a deviation above the 30-day rolling VWAP, and we might be going way lower towards 94-ish, right? So going into next week, I will have a long bias, right, against the 30-day rolling VWAP, targeting these equal highs, and then potentially even all-time high. But I will need to see this maintain a support. Even if we tag into that 6-week value area low, I need to see a reclaim, like ASAP. Because otherwise it's just a shift in trend and we're going to go towards the lows again. So it's going to be a tricky week, but we do have 2 very important levels, or maybe even 3, to be taking trades off. So the thing that I want you to be aware here is that the 30-day at 105,680-ish needs to hold from a trending perspective. So let's just summarize everything what we've just said. I would say higher time frame, Bitcoin looks pretty good with the failed auction below developing year value area high and the reaction of the previous quarter value high. Do you guys remember who was here with me last week? Previous quarter value high. Last week we were saying right here. I can look to find a snippet, but basically what I said was Bitcoin is looking like shit on all time frames. However, our only hope for relief back towards the highs is an H12 close above previous quarterly value high. And look what we got. Exactly, right? Then beautiful push higher. So, you know, that's in previous quarterly value is going to be so super important. And the reaction of that previous quarterly value high, which we just annotated, right? Going forward, my main focus will be on the new previous quarter value and the previous quarter composite, where the value high lines up with the 6-week value area low. Ultimately, 103, mark this out on your charts, 715 is our bullish line in the sand for a shot at new all-time highs, and the 6-week value area high is the only thing that is holding. No, let's just rephrase it. A new all-time highs and the 6-week value high is going to be our bearish line in the sand. All right. So to quickly show you on a regular chart, let's get everything out here like that. 4-hour time frame. Basically what we're doing, let me just see if I can draw it in with a rectangle. So we've got the 6-week here, and then we've got the 6-week value area low there. Let's just extend this style, extend right like that. So this is the range that we've been capped in for the past 6 weeks, right? We had some deviations above, below, but we've been ping-ponging pretty well. If this would have been bearish here, this should have just held us resistance. Similar to, do you guys remember this distribution, right? Look, let me just zoom out, get rid of everything. This is what I mean. This is that value area low right there, right? We break away from value, shifting condition, time and space. Everybody gets bullish, resistance, boom, we go for new lows. This right here, this, we break from value. This should have been resistance, and we're just cleanly breaking through it. Now we do have a single print there, right? Which is why I think if we're getting the chance, this could be a good long opportunity for a move towards the highs. But we'll see what develops first, because yes, we're rotational within value. However, we should not neglect the fact that the 6-week value high, now let's get back. Can I remove this? No, I want to remove that. We should not neglect the fact that this 6-week value high is big ass resistance, right? We've got a quarterly close coming up. So if Bitcoin decides to break above the high and then fails to do so, I think it's setting up for a move towards the lows, right? So that's going to be one of the hypos. I'll be going over the rest of the hypos later on. But are we all clear so far on TPO, longer term VWAPs? Like, is that loud and clear? Because at that point, we're going to be doing the daily narrative. Well, not the daily narrative, the weekly narrative. What's up, Jake? Hope you're well, man. Dino is asking, looking at your charts, am I correct to assume that when you say previous quarterly value, high value, you're talking... Yes. Exactly. Previous quarter, look, this right here, the squiggly lines right now, that's developing value. Previous is static. That's previous quarterly value. Because look, from this chart, we can see quarterly developing value area high, quarterly developing value area low. The quarter closes, previous value extended throughout time. Okay. Yeah, you can post them, Jake. Okay, so BTC, going back here. Narrative. What's going to be the narrative? In my opinion, write it down. Heading into next week, I am looking at 2 potential longs and a short. 1. Sweep the lows into the 30-day VWAP, which is going to be confluent with the upcoming previous week VWAP for longs towards the 6-week value high. Now, why the 6-week value high and the all-time high? Because let's be honest, the 6-week value high is still big ass resistance. If we can reclaim that, I'll be targeting all-time highs. But until then, mainly looking to take profits around that region. You know, I'll keep on to that position for, you know, maybe a couple of percentage, but, you know, it's going to be the main target. Number 2, maybe we're getting a much deeper flush, right? Because we don't know if the 30-day VWAP is going to be capping downside. So maybe we're getting a much deeper flush into our bullish line in the sand, where I will be looking for longs. I'll be looking for longs, targeting new all-time high. I think best bang for your buck here, right? Because we're in such a deviation from fair value at that point. I think that's the best trade to take longer term. Number 3. In terms of shorts, right, I would say conversely, if we remain in this range and sweep all the highs into the 6-week value high and fail to hold it as support, I will be looking for shorts targeting the single prints. No, targeting the 30-day VWAP, singles, confluent with 6-week value area low. Note, we do not want to see acceptance below 103k, as that would lead to a much deeper drop into, in my opinion, let's just call this 97k-ish region. Okay. So in terms of the hypos, I'll show you. The bearish case here would be this high here. Then we auction towards the high. We're getting compression. Everybody getting super horny for a move higher. Spike above the high. An increase in open interest. Large amount of buy delta at the highs. Or in other words, high volume bar with a point of control at the high. And we close below. That will be a typical 1, 2, a 3 drive setup here. Where I'll be looking for shorts there. Targeting a move back into this low. And potentially into this gap right there. Okay. That's the shorting opportunity. Best case for longs would be leave all of these highs intact, then slowly trade towards it. Then I'll be either looking to get long, like on something like this, where we sweep this low into the 16-day value high confluent with the previous week VWAP, reclaim the low, because at that point this would be a shallow retracement, right? And I'll be targeting these equal highs. Or we're getting like a much deeper drop. And then at that point, I need to see a reclaim of this low confluent with the 30-day VWAP ASAP, at which I think the low should be in. If we're getting a flush like this with a large wipe in open interest, exhaustion at the lows at a key contextual level here, at that point, everything is basically lining up for me to be thinking, okay, you know, if there's going to be another extension towards the highs, then like that low should be it. So basically, on the data that we currently have on the screen, I can only account for 3 hypos where I'm like, those are the ones that I'm willing to trade. Is that clear for everybody? What does acceptance mean? You said last week that we now have acceptance in yearly VWAP. There is no time and space there. And let's say I'm trading VWAPs on hard time, but there are so many levels to watch. For example, yearly, weekly previews. What values are important development previews and what levels? Well, honestly, bro, like if you have that much questions in regards to value, I would just suggest to join the Discord because we're doing these on a daily basis, so it's too much for me to answer within a single stream. With the big guys, and I have to sweep lower first for liquidity for the move higher, then they can go lower, better positions. Like, I mean, that's what I would like to see, but I wouldn't want it to go lower than 103.7. Because that's too, a break below 103 is like, that would be significantly, like, that would be really bearish in my opinion. There is no quick answer to them, Jake. Like, I can't say what's acceptance within 2 words. Like, there's no quick answer to that, to be honest. I'm sorry. 107-ish. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean 107? Appreciate you, Smith. But honestly, I wish I could just give you like a one sentence answer to cover your question, Jake. Honestly, I would, but I just can't. Like, I'm not able to do that. Like, what values are important, developing or previous, or what levels? Like, that's just not something that I can cover like within a single screen. You'll have to, like, if you really want to be starting to trade with this, I would just suggest to just start binge watching all of my live streams on YouTube, or join Discord to just have this on it. You need to see it developing with, every day, where, oh, today it's here, today it's there, right? It's easier. Right. They sweep, then yeah. That's what I would. So for me, it's either going to be based on, we're either getting, look, if we're getting a clean break above the 6 week, then this becomes our bullish line in the sand, right? Right now, it's the 6 week value low. But if there's going to be new data, right now I don't have that data, right? But if tomorrow you wake up and we're cleanly breaking above the 6 week value high, then you should automatically look for this area to be like, okay, the market is telling me right now that we're breaking above a key level, spend time and space, fail to break below. Well, shit, I need to go with that break, and I'm going to be targeting these highs. But if we sweep them and then we don't hold as a support, well, then that's the shift in condition, and we're going to be targeting the lows again. So whichever comes first, I'll be taking it nonetheless. I'll be taking a look at DMs shortly on Discord as well. So my gut setup is, I think a lot of people are sidelined for this move. So my gut feeling is actually, something where I'm like, well, honestly, gut feeling is saying that we might be sweeping this swing failure pattern, and then we continue to fucking grind upwards. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Because a sweep and then reclaim would seem a bit too easy. But I would just want to see, where are we closing the quarterly value? How are we going to be reacting to that? And from that point on, I'm just going to be trading it. For me, acceptance above the 6 week, bullish. Failed acceptance above the 6 week, bearish. And I'm just going to be trading this bracket until either one of this side breaks in. Right? Yeah, I think so as well, Smith. Like, Max Payne is going to be up only for a lot of people. Yes, I'm still trading footprints. 100%. Yeah, like League of Shorts is saying, like, basically it's 85 a month. Like, I honestly don't know why I made it that fucking cheap, to be honest, bro. Like, 85 a month. I know some of the groups are charging like, what, 500 a month, 250 a month? 85s, damn. If we sweep, drop down, then acceptance above 108. Yeah. 85s, damn. If you say it like that, bro, like... Now I know why I'm poor. Alright, so 85s, 108. My deal is to sweep a flush in 6 week. Yeah, so I think the best trades are going to be around the 6 week extreme. Right there and right there. And whichever one comes first. Alright, guys. I think that's it for today. We had a good one. If you guys would like to support me, leave me a like on the channel. And, you know, for those on the Discord, I will see you soon again. I won't be able to stream tomorrow morning because I'm with the kids. They have a free day from school, but we're back to streaming every day starting from Tuesday. Have a fantastic evening today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, man. Peace.